Thank you for joining in to another week of the Say Less Podcast, episode 7. As always, it's Mo, joined with Will and Zach. A lot of good topics today. A lot of newsworthy NBA headlines this week. Meyers Leonard situation, LeBron, vaccine comments, Blake Griffin to Nets. So a lot of stuff to talk about. If you guys haven't actually followed our social media pages, on Twitter it's NBA. Oh, my bad. On Twitter it's say_less_pod, and then Instagram is say_less_podcast. As always, it's gonna be at the bottom of the screen.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
To the side of me, below Will and Zach. So if you guys can hit those, open it up, give us some reviews on YouTube, give us 5 stars on the Apple Podcast app. Be much appreciated. But anyways, let's start off with Blake Griffin to the Nets.
All right. Blake Griffin was recently bought out by the Pistons. During the All-Star break, he signed with the Nets. So what are your comments on this signing? Does this make the Nets the favorite and the scariest team in the NBA?
4-0 sweep through the East, 4-0 sweep through the finals, 16-0 overall, Kevin Durant finals MVP. Write it down right now.
Write that down. Write that down, bro.
A bold take from Mohammed.
16-0 through the East, bro. Write it down now. Damn.
16-0. Through the playoffs, you mean?
Through the playoffs, right? Yeah. And then 4-0.
KD MVP.
Kevin Durant finals MVP, man. Actually, matter of fact, no. James Harden. James Harden finals.
Yeah, I'm about to say. Yeah. He's not the best player on that team. But, Will, your thoughts?
Oh, my God. Mohammed didn't even say anything. He just didn't analyze this at all. He just...
Well, I'd say that because they signed Blake Griffin.
Okay, so. Well, I disagree. I did some...
I really...
Excuse yourself, bro. God, who do you think you are, bro? I did...
God. It's supposed to be 1, 2, 3, not 1, 2, back to 1, dumbass.
I did my fault. So I looked up just how good the Nets were before him, and they kind of play small ball already. So which was, I've commented in the past, has been a little bit concerning to me because it doesn't seem like they establish any centers, which I'm starting to kind of see. They're kind of starting to establish some centers like Nicholas Claxton. Claxton, who's really turned out to be a great player. Actually, he's averaging 20.9 points per game, 8.1 rebounds per game, 1.9 assists, 3.1 blocks, and 1.9 steals per 36 minutes. Sorry, not per game, per 36 minutes. So that's great output. And I believe he's a second-year player, or is he third?
I think he's a second year.
Yeah. So he's pretty young, but he's very good and he's up and coming. I just think that they need to I just don't like the small ball way of a game. I guess that's my personal opinion. So I kind of worry about that. But they kind of have a small ball lineup already. So Jeff Green already plays that small center, right? He hits 45.5% of catch and shoot threes and 47.4% of wide open threes. Blake Griffin, meanwhile, makes 44.2% of wide open threes. So Jeff Green's a little bit better in that category, which is the kind of role that Blake Griffin would have. Although Blake has said that he kind of wants to play that 4 spot, because he's a 4,
right?
Not really a 5,
right?
But I just don't see that role for him. I think he should be that position. I think that's what he would be best at, but we'll see. The other thing is he's already dealing with injury concerns. He hasn't even played. He's being held out by the coach for, caution, but he might be out for the next week or 2. I just read that this morning. So that's a little the injuries are just going to be a concern, right, for Blake.
What does he have?
It's a hamstring, I think, or a hip.
Oh, my gosh.
So I don't know if he injured himself going into practices beforehand or at practice. I don't know. Doesn't say. But they seem to be playing the small ball a lot. And like I said, Blake wants to play that 4. I don't know if he's going to get that wish, but I do think he's going to be a great shooter for them as a big guy. And although everybody talks about how he hasn't dunked the ball since whenever,
right?
I don't really think he's an NBA player. He's like 6'9" or 6'10". He can dunk. That doesn't just go away. So he can still dunk. Maybe he can't dunk from the free throw line or jump over a car. You don't need that because you have James Harden, Kyrie, and Kevin Durant who are going to draw all this attention. So needless to say, he's also going to get a lot of wide open threes. And he makes 44% of those. Yes. That's gonna work. Yes. You're gonna get it done. Yes, so my point is, just real quick, Zach, I don't really think they needed him to win to be like the favorite. I think this just kind of amplifies it if he can settle into the rotation pretty well, because it kind of seems like the Nets have solidified a rotation that seems to be working. But if he fits in nicely, that's just more power to him. And Mohammed, I don't think they're going 16-0 through the playoffs, but
definitely
I think they're gonna have an easy route.
Bro, hold on. Who's been them knees? Tell me.
Everybody has a bad game. Everybody has a bad game, bro. Everyone.
Don't care, bro. Don't care.
Sixers. Literally everybody. It's never happened.
Bro. Remember when the 2017 Warriors went up, what? 8-0 against the...
Let me have my say. I want to say Blake Griffin.
I
want to say Blake Griffin could be a defining role off the bench for the Nets, depending on what he brings to the table. I think it's going to be interesting to see how he settles in. Solely based off the fact of rebounds, scoring. If he can be a catch and shoot player, I think that'll be great for them. But I solely think it depends on what will happen when the team is fully healthy. A friendly reminder that Durant has not been with the team for a long period of time, has not been in the rotation, and they've adapted to the rotation without Durant. So it's going to be very interesting to see what exactly happens when they add Blake Griffin and Durant to a team that already has 2 ball-dominant players running the offense. Durant, let me remind you, Durant is also ISO-oriented and ball-dominant. Let me remind you, I'm going to say right now, I do not think that the Nets are going to be finals champions this year. Solely based on the fact they have
Zach,
don't have enough. They're not going to have enough ball movement. I think each player is going to need his own looks to fit in.
I posted this on TikTok. His take on this, I think it got some
laughs. I do not think that Durant will have to settle into his role on the Warriors again. He will have to be a freeloader. Dare I say it? I think that Harden and Irving are going to have to pass him the ball. He's going to have open looks. He's basically going to be a venture-fied Blake Griffin on the Nets, like we were just talking about. I do not think he's going to have the ball in his hands. I think Harden and Irving are going to have the ball in their hands more. So that's what I'm saying about that. That's all I'm going to say about that, because
Mohammed looks like he wants to die.
What is he saying, bro? There's literal evidence, like 20 games plus of Kevin Durant playing with James Harden and Kyrie.
How are you keeping a straight face, bro?
But they've been going off without him recently.
Baby, because it's Kyrie Irving and James Harden, obviously. They're going to go off regardless.
Let me remind everybody.
Bro, you're just talking just to talk. Just shut up. You're just talking just to talk. Shut up.
Let me remind everybody that the Warriors were better without Durant during those Warriors.
Better without Durant than they win the finals.
Nobody's talking about the Warriors, bro. Let it go.
They didn't win the finals without him.
He deserves most finals MVP, bro. Just shut up. Steph Curry is not good enough to win finals MVP. Just let it go, bro.
If they had Clay, it would have been better. They had Clay, they would have won the series, obviously.
3-1, bro. Lord. They were down 3-1 with Clay.
Bros, they're 1-3 without Durant in the finals. I'm just saying, bro.
I seem to recall the only game they were like really comfortably winning that series was the 12 minutes that Durant played.
That's right.
Okay, 12 minutes, whatever.
12 minutes. I don't know. It seems to be impactful.
12 minutes. That sounds like some bull jive, damn it.
Mohammed, go ahead.
Bros, like Durant has played with Kyrie and James Harden already this season. A lot of games that you could actually have a good sample size of how they play with Durant on the floor. James Harden doesn't score as much. It's simple as that. He just plays point guard, and then Kyrie and Durant are the ones that scores. There's a lot of evidence of this. So having Blake Griffin and Kevin Durant back is not going to change nothing.
I'm concerned because they're all very ISO dominant players in regards to.
You can't say ISO when. All right, you know what?
You
I'm
watched the
not gonna talk.
Miami Heat in 2010 through 14 or
They
2011?
fall apart some of those games. Let me remind you that the Heat were not as dominant as people thought they would be.
I'm not arguing that they're not gonna have hiccups, but to say that that Durant is gonna just tear this team apart. I know
I said it back in the very first episode of this play.
And you're
Did-
wrong. And you're still
Brooklyn
wrong to this day.
not making
So
it to the
just
finals.
stop saying it.
I
January 31st,
I
Brooklyn is not
listen
making
to
it.
those. They make me laugh.
Not making
Bro
it.
is ill in the head, bro. Honestly.
All right.
You love to just belittle Durant so that Steph Curry looks better. It doesn't
And
work.
Curry
You mean
Curry
Two
is nowhere.
Finals
You mean my
MVPs.
love to speak the truth about Durant because Curry is underappreciated.
Oh, really? It's
Right.
no truth.
Underappreciated. Oh my god.
Dare I say? All right. We're gonna move on. We're gonna move on though.
You better move on. What the hell?
Whatever.
LeBron recently came out with some vaccine comments. He stated about his vaccine that he would be private. Many NBA stars have passed: Bill Russell, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, San Antonio Spurs legendary coach Greg Popovich all have enthusiastically promoted the vaccine rollout. However, there remains enduring apprehension amongst LeBron and other NBA staff. He has come out and said that there's a conversation that my family and I will have. Pretty much keep that to a private thing. Things like that. When you decide to do something that's a conversation between you and your family and not for everybody, I'll keep it that way. He was met with stark criticism from most people. Social media went off. Stephen A. Smith has urged him to reconsider his position. So I'd like to know your thoughts on this from both of you, as well as myself, see what's going on with the vaccine, what you guys think LeBron should be about the NBA.
Let me read what Stephen A. said word for
Go.
word. Or LeBron. So LeBron said that's a conversation for my family, and my family and I will have. I'll keep that to a private thing, like you said. Stephen A. rebutted, as a black man considering this nation's history and its unethical behavior when it came to using black folks as guinea pigs in our eyes, I definitely understand the hesitation and apprehension on his part. I say this to LeBron James, my brother, all of our brothers who is an incredibly influential figure. I would say to him, he has taken positions on many, many, many things of incredible importance to our community. One could easily argue when you see the amount of deaths that have come associated with COVID-19, it's very little that he has encountered that is more challenging or daunting than this. And if you could speak up about those things, you just might want to think about speaking up about this. Okay, so I did some further.
I'd also like to point out this does come in the wake of the Zlatan Ibrahimovic and LeBron banter back and forth about whether athletes should keep their political comments to themselves or not. That might have played something into it with LeBron's decision. I'm not sure. I'm not him, but continue.
I hope not. But I did go looking through some stuff, some data, and black athletes in all of the 3 or 4 major sports in America, if you want to include hockey, 4, they do not take vaccines at a high rate, like at all. It's pretty alarming. So I was looking at the NFL last year. They surveyed players. 75% of the players weren't going to take the flu vaccine. The flu vaccine, a vaccine that has been around forever, not literally, but for a long time.
Yep.
And it's been reported that many NBA players do not want to take this vaccine. They're not going to be required to take this vaccine. So that leads me to believe that once again, there's going to be a bubble. If there's not a bubble, the playoffs are going to be tarnished in a significant way, because there's no way you make it through the playoffs. I just don't think they're disciplined enough to make it through without doing something dumb. Like I mentioned tonight, just going out through Cleveland, seeing what was going on. There's nobody wearing masks. Nobody cares. It's St. Patrick's Day weekend, so obviously everybody just wants to do their own partying thing. But nobody cares. So they're going to do the same thing. Somebody's going to get sick. It's going to affect the outcome.
Yep.
Now, to LeBron, I personally think he should vocalize this. And I would hope he would take it because, like Adam Silver has said, and like Stephen A. said, he has a lot of influence, a lot. If LeBron takes this vaccine, I guarantee many, many more NBA players will take it, and then people around the U.S. will, and maybe even the world. It's very important. Last week we talked about, what is it, like 33% of Americans don't want to take this. That's
Right,
scary.
yep.
That's scary because
Third or
people don't
something like that,
understand
right.
how long we're going to be in this if that doesn't happen.
Right.
So those are my thoughts. I don't want to, I took up time there, but
Yeah, I agree. I think that it's going to be tricky because whatever LeBron says, I think most of the league will follow. He has an extremely massive influence over what happens. Just his social justice comments have been revolutionary in terms of changing the game, changing how players, speak about political issues and bringing light to those issues. So I think LeBron should have some say in this because this is a big issue about whether or not to take the vaccine. He should come out and say it because he is one of the biggest role models in sports and in the world today. So I agree with you. I agree with Stephen A. I think he should be more vocal about his opinion. He should come out and say what he wants to say. But it is a little bit interesting to think about what if he does not want to take the vaccine? That will influence the league a lot. I hope, God willing, he takes it because I think that's the most logical choice. But if he does not want to take it, that will influence the league a lot as well. So those are my thoughts. Mohammed?
To me, I mean, I didn't know that 70% of black athletes, don't take vaccines. That was
that was in
astonishing.
the NFL. That was just
That was NFL.
It was 1 year for last year, and they
Oh,
said it
last
was
year?
in the article. It said it's comparable in all leagues. Well,
Mm.
obviously not baseball because baseball is predominantly white athletes, but nevertheless.
Okay. Well, I'm not familiar with vaccinations, shots, or stuff like that. So I know, like, through social media, especially last year, I saw on Twitter a lot of people would talk about how they're hesitant to take vaccinations because of the side effects. So I don't know what that is about, but I think that's the number one reason why people don't like to take it. So if that's what LeBron thinks, then yeah, I mean, it's. Oh, go ahead. What are you
Let
gonna
me
say?
speak on that because I just want to help you out. So I
Yeah.
was this article I've read, the NBA top doctor. I don't know what that is, but they were saying that they've been trying to discredit the, like, what's the word I'm looking for, the myths that are going around about vaccines, like, oh, it's gonna make me sick, oh, it'll mutate my genes. Like, these are things people actually believe,
Yeah,
and
that's
they've
what I
been
was
trying to
saying also.
discredit that, like you're
Yeah.
saying.
Yeah. Okay. So maybe guys are hesitant because of stuff like that. They hear things like that, and obviously, remember how when we're talking about I think we were talking about vaccinations, like the episode 2, and how Adam Silver urged, like, general managers and top executives at leagues. They told them, hey, share this information with your players, so because they have a lot of influence on Black communities, Latino, minority communities in general, because those are the ones that get hit with the flus every year, and obviously COVID right now. So the whole thing about other star athletes in NBA doing what LeBron does, if he's gonna keep it private, I think other guys should step up and say, hey, I'm gonna be taking vaccination and stuff like things like that, because I don't think they should be following what LeBron does. I know how much influence he does, but
Right.
guys like KD and Giannis, if those two came out, or Kawhi or Steph Curry, especially, if those guys come
Especially
out,
stuff,
yeah,
Yeah, that's a good
if
point.
those guys
Yeah,
came out, I think that'd be good enough to
that's a good point. Yeah.
yeah.
So I was thinking about this when you were saying this, when you were talking, Zach. Think about back when LeBron spoke up about the All-Star game, right? Just a
Right.
few weeks ago, and then suddenly everybody else starts speaking
Yeah,
up.
yeah.
You know
Yep.
damn well if LeBron speaks up about this, suddenly everybody's gonna start. They're gonna feel okay because it's like, if LeBron said it, that means it's okay for us to talk about.
Right.
Right.
So
As
he
a
really
league, right?
does have that impact. He really does.
Yes. All right. Interesting comments, boys. Interesting comments. We're moving on though. So Meyers Leonard was recently fined $50,000 by the NBA for using an anti-Semitic slur during a live stream, which was uploaded to social media the next day. Leonard was suspended from participating in all team-related activities for a week and will be required to go through cultural diversity program. So your thoughts on the comments, where this puts another race argument in the NBA? Who wants to start?
It was tough for Myers because that was.
Yes.
I didn't even know about the word because I heard about it and I watched the video and I didn't even I've never heard the insult, so I'm not really familiar with the Jewish community and the whole religion and everything like that. So
right.
I didn't know what the word. I'm not gonna say it because I don't want to get in trouble. But he said it. Yeah.
Please do not. I'd advise against saying the word on the podcast.
Well, I was gonna say just because, just to let people know what the word.
Oh no!
What the word
please,
was.
no, please, no.
Yeah. Okay. But
I apologize on behalf of my brother. No.
I was watching First Take and Stephen A. and Max Clubman obviously were talking about it, and Max had a good point with how some people handle people saying slurs, especially racial slurs, instead of asking why they said it. Maybe they should be trying to accustom to them, teach them about the background, kind of like how Julian Edelman did.
Right.
He invited Meyers Leonard, he invited Deshaun Jackson when he made those, when he quoted Adolf Hitler or something off of a book. So I mean, it's a bad look. It was a bad look for Meyers Leonard, obviously, and I think Pat Riley's Jewish, right?
Yeah.
Is he?
Yeah, Julian Edelman's Jewish. Yeah, good bringing that up too. Yeah.
Anybody on this podcast?
No. Oh. Contrary to popular belief, no.
Also, Adam Silver's Jewish too, so that's the crazy part. There's a lot of Jewish people in NBA's top, executives. So it was just bad.
Almost like it's one of the major religions,
right,
in the world. Yeah. Okay, so I looked up the quote because I didn't really like hearing it over the video. It was hard for me to catch what he said. He said, "Effing cowards, don't effing snipe me, you effing expletive.
All right.
So I looked up the history of this because I had never heard the word like you, Muhammad, and maybe Zach. I didn't even know it was a word. I didn't know what it meant. So here's the history of it.
I don't think he knew either, to be honest.
Yeah,
I think
that's what he said. So the word was born on Ellis Island when Jewish immigrants who were illiterate or could not use Roman English letters were asked to sign the entry forms with the customary X. They refused and instead made a circle. So somebody named Leo Rawson wrote in The Joys of Yiddish. The Yiddish word for circle is kaikel, pronounced kaikel, like I said. And for little circle, it's kaikle. Before long, the immigration inspectors were calling anyone who signed with an O instead of an X a.
Oh, you're right.
So we get the point there. So that's where it originated from, which I had no idea. So I just did that research because I wanted to educate myself about why it was a bad word because I'd never heard of it. So he was fined 50. Yeah, fined $50K for it. I don't think that's unreasonable. Maybe even more.
It would have been more because he's injured right now. So if he wasn't injured, they would have taken his game check. So I think they say it would have been like $350.
Oh, okay. So I didn't know that. I was gonna say $50K. I would have probably gone more because I'm thinking of words I do know. The N word. If somebody just ripped that out, bro.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me, bro? Especially with the demographic in the NBA. I don't even know if I'd ever show up to a game again.
He'd be out the league for sure.
So I looked into the history of Meyers Leonard, and he does have some questionable history. Recall the "I stand" tweet. Do you guys remember that when he was the only one that would stand on the Heat and everybody else would knee? You guys remember that? I stand for the men and women like my brother who has served this country. I stand against the violence and riots in D.C. I stand in solidarity with my teammates and brothers. I stand against bigotry, racism, and hate. Good message, but then he's literally standing so it's like a little misleading in a way, right?
Very misleading, yeah.
So the last thing or another thing I saw was that he seems deeply sorry about this. He actually genuinely seemed to be sorry, and he reached out to the Anti-Defamation League to learn about how harmful this word was and to learn about the history, as I kind of explained. He has a quote that he said in his apology, "I'm deeply sorry for using the anti-Semitic slur during a live stream yesterday. While I didn't know what the word meant at the time, my ignorance about its history and how offensive it is to the Jewish community is absolutely not an excuse, and I was just wrong. I'm now more aware of its meaning, and I am committed to properly seeking out people who can help educate me about this type of hate and how we can fight it." I believe him. Do you guys believe him? I believe him.
It sounds sincere, but we'll never know until he goes through the process.
Exactly. I don't know if I have reason to think that he's like a hateful person. I just think his ways about going about things are a bit suspect. Not suspect, but just different and against the grain. But I do believe him. But this is not going to go away for him. This is going to be there for a while. Like, people are going to remember this. If he ever wins the let's say the Heat win the championship, that man has to shake Adam Silver's hand.
Right.
Like, that's going to be in the back of his mind. So.
Yeah. I agree with both. I agree with both of you. I'd also like to close. I don't really have anything else to add. I just like to add the Julian Edelman quote. He said, "Hate is like a virus. Even accidentally, it can rapidly spread." I think I agree with that. He had a really nice statement on his Instagram. Check that out. But we're going to move on, I think, because I agree with both of you on those comments. I think it's going to take some time for him to, educate himself on that topic and, try to move on. But there was also some surfacing about Steph Curry versus Damien Lillard in the clutch recently. Obviously, there's been bickering between fans of Dame and fans of Steph ever since the bubble last year when Dame went off.
It goes way beyond the bubble. Way beyond
the bubble, but there was obviously a lot of dialogue after Dame was shooting threes a lot from behind the arc, way beyond the arc, and led the Blazers to an 8 seed. And then they also were all-star teammates and shot a lot of threes. So I'd like to hear both of your comments first, because I know they might be antagonistic towards mine. So who's better, Steph Curry or Damian Lillard in the clutch?
You go, Mohammed.
It's Damian Lillard. That's all I have to say.
All you have to say, you need some evidence to back it up. Come on.
Oh, I carry the show, bro. Or carrying.
Come on,
LeBron.
Dame against the Thunder. Dame against the Rockets. Dame against
who's that's
that?
It.
What about Dame against the Jazz?
And that's
Dame against the Nuggets.
What about Dame against the Warriors?
Well, let me get to Steph. Let's see Steph's clutch performances. Never. KD carried him. KD carried him. Okay, well, just go ahead, Will. I want to hear yours first before I have to go on the rebuttal side of things.
Okay, well, I did a lot of stat searching, so I might be a second here. I do have some. So Curry is 0 for 8 on go-ahead shots.
Zero.
With less than go-ahead or game winners with less than 20 seconds left in the game for the playoffs. In the fourth quarter, but let me talk about this year. Crazy. Let me give Steph some credit, because this year he's been insane. In the fourth quarter and overtime this season, 40.7 points per 36 minutes, which leads the NBA. 11 of 21 on two-pointers, 52.4%. 9 of 20 on three-pointers, 45%, and then 19 of 19 from the free throw line.
Is he top 5 in fourth quarter points
this year?
See, the whole per 36 thing is just inflated stats, just to make him look
agree.
better.
So let me go on.
He's not top
I don't think he is.
Points.
I don't think he is. He isn't.
He's not.
No, he isn't. Curry hasn't been. Because speaking of, Curry hasn't been top 5 in clutch points since 2009-2010 season. Meanwhile, Damian Lillard.
10 years. A whole decade, bro. Crazy.
Meanwhile, Damian Lillard has been in the top 5 in that category every year of his career.
every year, bro. Top five every year.
Top 5 and what? Top 5 and
Top
what?
5 in clutch points. They define clutch as a 5-point game.
How did they define it?
They define it as a 5-point game within the last 5 minutes, I think. That's how it is. I wanted to get more like in the last minute, but those stats are really hard to find. So let me go on. Lillard's clutch numbers this season look comical. This is a quote from an article. When a game is within 5 points with 5 minutes or fewer, which that's the definition of clutch according to the NBA, he's shooting 61.4% from the field, 57.1% from the three, 100% from the free throw line. 92 total clutch points, trails only Zach LaVine this year. The Blazers, basically a net neutral team in terms of overall point differential, go to plus 31 in Lillard's clutch minutes. They carry a 13-5 record in tight games this year.
On top of that, Will,
go on.
On top of that, how many game-winning buzzer beaters does Steph have in the playoffs?
That's a big fat goose egg, my guy. Well, just let me go on because I got more. Most game tying.
Keep going, bro. Keep going. You're doing great.
Most game tying or go-ahead field goals since 2012 and 13. Damien Lillard leads the NBA. 35. Russell Westbrook is second with 21. DeMar DeRozan is third with 17. Steph doesn't even crack the top 5 there. Dame in the clutch, which so it is 5-point game in the last 5 minutes, Zach. That I just read that on my notes. So that is how they define it. This season, 82 points. That's first in the NBA. 63.2 field goal percentage. That's first with a minimum of 15 attempts. 58.8 3-point percentage. Guess what? That's first. With a minimum of 15%. 100% free throw percentage. Guess what? That's first, bro.
First.
And the team is 12-3. That's also first. Yikes.
First.
So Dame is also tied with MJ for the most series winning buzzer beaters.
Tied with
who?
Tied with who?
The GOAT.
The
Michael
GOAT.
Jordan. Michael
That's
Jeffrey
his level,
Jordan.
Bro. That's his level.
You ever seen that guy?
Crazy.
Nice. So that's only 2 though, which, when you win a series though, that's kind of miraculous. And those 2 shots Dame hit, those are some pretty great shots. Now, Steph just hasn't been clutch. He just hasn't been clutch in the playoffs. If I'm looking in the regular season, I could understand maybe. And if you look at the fourth quarter entirely, I could understand the argument for Steph. If you just look at specifically clutch time as defined by the NBA, it's not even close, bro. It's a breeze.
Not close.
It's called
close.
Dame time. It's not called Steph time. It's Dame time.
Dame time, bro.
It was a bad shot. I swear it was a bad shot. I don't care. I'm not giving him credit.
How he waved to OKC, bro? He waved to them, bro. It's crazy.
Bye. Just like NSYNC. NSYNC back then, bro.
Shut up to both of you.
The floor is yours.
No, let's go to the next topic. You can't say nothing after that, bro.
It might be.
Let's go to the next topic.
It might be Dame time. He might be wearing a wrist, but he has 0 rings on those fingers. Let I remind you, 0 rings. More clutch than Steph. Let I remind you, Steph Curry has 3 MVPs. Let me start off with this.
About clutch,
let me first start this off with saying a Michael Jordan quote. I've missed more than 9,000 shots in my career. I've lost almost 300 games. 26 times I've been trusted to take the game-winning shot and missed. I failed over and over and over again in my life, and that is why I succeed. Yes, Steph Curry has had some lackluster performances in the finals, but that does not make him a choker in the playoffs. He is a success in the playoffs. Many players who are considered as clutch have had bad performances and missed big shots. Case in point, the Jordan quote I just told you. Let I remind you, sealing the win over the Rockets in Game 1 Western Conference semis.
Hey, yo, you can't walk off the set, bro.
He won. Muhammad walked off the set. Muhammad definitely has walked off the set, ladies and gentlemen.
Man's pulling a Shaquille O'Neal, bro.
Exit stage right. Exit stage right.
All right, let me hear you.
Let me keep going. Game 6, 2013, West Simmies scored 33 points in the second half and 23 in the fourth. He also had a clutch 3 in Game 5 of the NBA Finals. He has had clutch performances in the NBA Finals, which Dame has not been to. Every time Dame and Steph have matched up, Dame has fallen. So
let me ask you something before you keep going. Has Damien Lillard ever had a better team than Stephen Curry? Ever?
No.
Okay.
But still,
go on. I'm not disagreeing. I just want to ask.
You also say that he has not performed better in the playoffs. 2014-2015 regular season, he averaged 24 points, 8 assists.
Wait. You said I said he didn't. No. I never said he didn't perform better in the playoffs. I said in clutch time.
You said he does not perform. You said Steph isn't clutch in the playoffs.
No. Oh, I said yes, clutch. Clutch as defined by the NBA.
Yes, right.
I'm talking about clutch as defined by the NBA.
Yeah, I'm talking about clutch as defined by regular normal people.
No. That's not how it works. You're talking about the fourth quarter. I even acknowledged that.
I'm talking about the fourth quarter. I'm talking about the fourth quarter in general.
Yes, and I acknowledge that if you're just looking at the fourth quarter, I could understand. I could understand the argument for Steph.
He struggled in Game 2 of that 2014-2015 Finals, but he also in the other 5 games put up 27 points, 6 assists, averaged 49% and 46% during those finals. I think you have to be clutch regardless. The finals, you have to be clutch the whole series. You can't just be clutch in the fourth quarter. You have to be clutch game to game to game to game. And Dame has not been in the finals. Let me remind everybody, Mohamed Daffy has come back to the set. He is listening to my argument now. But continuing on, Game 1 Rockets, 2015-2016 playoffs, 24 points in the first half. Then he got an MCL sprain, grade 1 MCL sprain in those playoffs. Came back the next round against the Blazers, scored 10 points in the fourth quarter, and scored an NBA record 17 points in overtime. NBA record in the playoffs in overtime points. Dame does not have that.
He didn't need overtime for games, you know.
Also closed out the Blazers. The Blazers in the Game 5 over elimination game. Dame versus Steph. Game 5, 29 points, 11 assists. I also want to talk about 3-1 deficits.
Curry, you really want to talk about 3-1 deficits with Steph Curry?
I absolutely do. Oh
my God.
Steph Curry was up and down in those first 4 games with OKC, I'll admit that. But games 5 through 7, facing elimination was the definition of clutch. He had averaged 33 points, 8 assists, 7 rebounds, 2.3 steals on the defensive end. Let me remind you, he is a little bit clutcher on the defensive end than Dame. Also averaged 47% from both the field goal and the 3-point range. Delivered 38 points in Game 4 of the NBA Finals, scored 30 points in Game 6, and then he fell apart in Game 7. All right, he has. I'll admit that those 2016 playoffs, Game 7, he fell apart. But everyone has bad games. Case in point to the quote I said at the beginning of this argument. Let me also go on. 2016, 2017. 2017, he went off the 2016, 2017 playoffs. Durant was a better player. There wasn't a lot of clutch moments as much, but he still shot better. He still had more points. He still shot very well in those playoffs, and they went to the finals and won. 2017, 2018. I think this definition right here, those games 5 through 7 against the Thunder, and then also the Western Conference Finals against Houston put him over Dame, because those Game 7s and those closeout games against also Dame in Game 5, and then also later when they faced off in the conference finals, he performed better down the clutch. Those 2017-2018 Western Conference Finals against Houston, after scoring just 9 points in the first half of Game 3, just 9 in the first half, lackluster. He erupted for 18 points in the third, clutched the game, averaged 26 points, 6 assists, and 45% the rest of the series, man. Game 1, I mean, just looking at all these numbers, looking at all these closeout series wins, looking at how he wins in the playoffs, he just creates double teams and he makes the whole team clutch. He commands double teams because
that's not
players
true.
because
Damian Lillard commands more double teams than Steph Curry.
No, definitely not. No,
That's,
no
yes,
way.
Yes,
no
sir.
way. No, Steph Curry commands double teams 30 feet from the rim more than Dame.
I'm gonna look this stat up again.
He gets shooters open. He gets them wide open looks, and that's why they win.
So does Dame.
That's why they
You're
have
talking
finals
about
wins.
Dame like he can't shoot from the same range Steph can.
Shoot, but he does not incite the fear in defenses as much as Steph does.
I disagree.
I rest my case. I just listed multiple appearances in the playoffs where he was clutch. Also, a clutch has clutch performances in the finals. Granted, he does have some bad games in the finals.
Yeah,
I will say that.
Some terrible games. Dame doesn't have those.
But Dame has also never been to the finals and never has had the opportunity to be clutch in the finals. So I think the clutch performances in the finals outweigh the negatives because he has 3 rings. If he had choked multiple games in the finals and doesn't have any wins.
He did choke multiple games. He has wins because of Klay Thompson and Kevin Durant.
Oh, that's just not true.
That is true.
He's performed better in those playoff series than Klay. He's also performed better, arguably more than Durant in some of those games too. No. So I rest my case because Steph Curry has multiple playoff success, multiple closeout game finishers, multiple closeout game highlights, performances, masterpieces.
Mohammed's literally playing.
Mohammed's on the game right
He's
now.
literally playing PlayStation, bro.
Versus all you guys have for Dame is he makes 2 clutch shots.
No, I provided evidence, countless pieces of evidence. Mohammed, you got something to say?
He makes 2 lucky buzzer beaters against teams. And
Paul George. He's
a top 10 clutch player.
So
the stats back it.
This is Zach's comeback. I can't provide any clutch performance, so let me just name out some big game averages.
I just provided multiple clutch performances.
No, game averages are not clutch performances. You can say that for any player, bro.
Those closeout games.
You can't just name. Oh, he averaged this many points, this many rebounds and assists against this team in this series. Like that's not clutch, bro. But anybody can say, "Hey, this guy averaged this many points." Oh, apparently he's clutch. No, that's not how it works. We'll just name stats that go as far as back to his rookie year. You're done, bro.
But Steph goes down the list and has multiple closeout playoff series wins games, goes through and wins games. And
okay, so if me and Will did the research, we could look up James.
His resume is longer and more stretched out in the playoffs, has more of a sample size and more opportunity to have finals and more clutch performances than Dame.
Okay, but he hasn't shown up in those.
He hasn't shown up. What do you mean he hasn't shown up? He showed up.
I literally provided you that he's 0-8 on clutch shots.
Okay, in the
playoffs.
In 20 seconds. Okay, whatever. In 20 seconds. It's a small sample size.
That's exactly what we're talking about.
That is a very small.
That's what clutch is, bro. Not 2 minutes to go. I made it 3 to put us up 5.
Yes, it is. 0 for 8. 0 for 8 is a small 8 shots. You're basing his entire clutch performance off of 8 shots.
No, I just that's one example. I had countless examples.
Well, can you name?
I have countless performances where he goes off.
What's that thing where Dame has the most game winners since his rookie year?
Yeah. Right? No, it wasn't the most game winners since his rookie year.
The best field goal percentage.
He has.
We also want to talk about only playoff performances. Steph has hit a lot of game winners in regular season as well.
Yeah,
that's one of that amazing game winner in overtime against the Thunder.
The Thunder. That was actually the only one I could really.
That's one of the best
harper on
ever. I also want to say clutch. Clutch. It's a little bit arguing that Steph is the greatest shooter of all time. So theoretically, he has a better percentage to make shots in the clutch.
He doesn't go. That's the problem.
Here was the stat.
If you want a shot at the end of the game, Steph has the highest percentage to make it.
Actually, that's not true though. That isn't true because here these stats. First of all, it was Curry. Curry hasn't been in the top 5.
Take him down again, Will.
Curry hasn't been in the top 5 in clutch points since 2009 and 10.
Points. Regardless of clutch
points.
About
clutch points. What we are talking about currently.
I'm talking about in general.
You're just talking about in general. We're talking
The
about
topic,
clutch time.
the topic is about clutch
is
shots.
Oh my God.
Steph versus Dame in the clutch.
Not Steph versus Dame.
You're not talking about
It's
no. The
clutch
topic
shots,
is
bro.
clutch. The topic is
Right.
clutch, not
And
just
we already
clutch
Steph
shots.
versus
Clutch
Dame in
shots?
the clutch.
Clutch shots, I'll give it to Dame. Clutch
All I know-
clutch performances, I'll give it to Steph Curry.
No.
No doubt about it.
What's a clutch performance? Are you defining a whole game? Because if
No,
you're
I'm
defining
talking
a
about
whole
the
game,
fourth
I'm going to
quarter.
argue that it's always Klay Thompson.
I'm talking about
Always
the
Klay
no.
Thank you.
I'm talking about
Yes,
in
it
the fourth.
is.
I'm talking about also in the fourth quarter and
And
close
I
out
said,
elimination
I
playoff games.
said, we're going to roll the tape because I know I said if you're talking about an entire fourth quarter, I can
You said
understand the argument with
Steph
Steph.
isn't clutch in the playoffs. That's exactly what you said.
Yes, as defined by the NBA.
I'm talking about as defined
I'm
by
finding
anyone else.
no. Okay, well, I don't know. I just go to the NBA's
As defined by the
website,
NBA.
and
What the hell does that even mean? What the hell is by the NBA
This
even
has been
mean?
universally known by NBA
Universally
fans
known.
for
Oh,
years.
20 seconds. So he has to be
It's
clutch.
not 20 seconds. It's the last 5 minutes.
If
It's the
it's
last
20
5 minutes.
if it's the last 6 minutes, that can't be clutch. That can be clutch.
Yes, there's plenty of
If he
time.
if he makes a shot with 21 seconds left and that puts him up 3, oh, that can't be clutch. Like what?
If I make a shot to go up 3 points with 6 minutes left, who cares?
There is no
cares?
specific time for clutch. It just happens throughout the game. It happens in the third quarter.
No.
Happens in the
If
fourth
I
quarter.
no,
happens
no,
in the first
no,
and second quarter. Absolutely.
No. A first quarter
Maybe.
shot is not a clutch shot. I'm sorry.
No, fourth quarter shots, third quarter shots throughout the game. There are clutch moments. That's not one strict definition of this time period is clutch. Like the last 5 minutes. No, there has to be there's clutch performances in the third.
If only Curry was clutch in that, that little matchup against Kevin Love, maybe we'd actually have a Finals MVP right now.
That what?
If only Curry was this clutch, last or 2 years ago when they played the
Raptors.
Talking
about one game seven. Talking about one game seven. Here we
go.
Game
seven.
What about game three?
Game
Both
seven.
game threes when he had KD.
What about those closeout
Talked
games
about
against
that
Dame?
before.
Yikes. Those
Yikes.
closeout games against Dame.
What about the closeout games against the Thunder where Klay Thompson had his back, or the Cavs where he had his back?
No. He went off those 5 through 7 in the Western Conference Finals, like I said.
I seem to recall Klay Thompson going off too.
They both went off, but Steph Curry also had what do you average here?
I seem to recall Klay Thompson setting an NBA record for threes or something.
Steph also set an NBA record for threes. He had 9 threes.
I think Klay was more.
No, he didn't. Was not because I have it right here in my notes. Steph Curry, record of threes.
What game? What game? I want to know the game.
Games 5 through 7 on the brink of elimination. Game 7, yeah.
Of which series?
7 rebounds, 2 points. The 2016 Western Conference Finals.
He went off on that. So I think Klay said it the game before, and then he beat him.
Oh my God. So I can't argue with these clowns. They're bringing up.
But again, as defined by the NBA, Damien Lillard has been the most clutch player since he came into the league.
Okay, whatever.
He scores the most when it matters most. There's no argument. He is first in shooting percentage, in field goals and 3-point and free throws. His team plays better than any team in the NBA when he is on the money. Not even on the money, because he's just on the money when it matters. There's no argument. It's just not realistic.
This man's love for Steph is just unbelievable, bro.
Dude, okay, let's just close this out.
Curry doesn't even have the most game-winning or go. Curry doesn't even have the most game-tying or go-ahead shots since 2012 or 13. He's not even on the top 5. DeMar DeRozan's on the top 5.
3 rings.
He was on the Raptors, bro. Westbrook. Number 2. He's not even better than Russ.
All those guys have got
Russ can't shoot, bro.
All those guys have got 0. 3 rings because of those.
3 rings, bro. Take KD and Iguodala off those teams. 0 rings. Big fat goose egg, bro.
Obviously.
Big fat goose egg.
Yeah, the most key pieces on the team, not Steph, huh?
And I didn't even mention, other than earlier, that Damien Lillard has never had a team even comparable to the Warriors.
Oh, Lord.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, let's wrap this up.
Man's like a fool,
what a topic! What a topic!
Mentally
sounds like a fool. Okay, moving on. But
that was mentally ill, bro.
All right, we have time for maybe one more discussion about bold takes. All right, so bold takes. Can we remind everybody of our bold takes last week? I know I said
So Zach, you
Steph
said
Curry
Steph
for
will win All-Star MVP.
yeah, that's
Yikes!
yikes.
That wasn't even bold, and it didn't happen.
Yikes.
Mohammed said Zach LaVine will win the 3-point contest. Well, yikes!
He did win, so I was right.
And he won in your heart, I guess.
Warriors
Clown.
won't be a top 8 team in the West by this week.
That's not a bold take.
Which wasn't a bold take because they were the 9th seed when that happened. So
Still
they're
was
the
right.
9th seed,
So
9.
2 for 2.
The Bulls will be the 6th seed. Well, right now they're the 11th seed, so that wasn't even close.
Man alive.
And then mine, Zach LaVine wins the All-Star MVP. He did. So we're good.
What?
Yeah, he did. I don't know what.
Imagine not having a bold take, right?
You see how these clowns just make up things on the spot. Case in point,
And the Bulls will beat the 76ers on their first game out of the All-Star break. Well, they lost 127 to 105. So, yikes.
Good job on that, bro. Thanks for jinxing the Bulls.
Yikes. You're blaming the jinx on me?
Oh, man. All right.
Yeah.
Bold takes?
I don't affect anything.
All right, bold takes this week. Who wants to start us off?
I guess I'll go first.
Yeah, I'm currently a little bit
Will's
lost.
Will's getting some, important phone calls.
That was not. It was a timer. Thank you very much.
Let me collect my thoughts as Mohammed goes off right here.
Well,
I kind of want Zach to go first. But.
Yeah, I know, but
James Harden will be number 1 in MVP ladder by next time we record, episode 8.
Oh God!
All right,
second bold take, same as last week. The Bulls will be the 6th seed. They just had some hiccups. They got Laurie back. They got Otto Porter back. They will make some next. Bulls will make a blockbuster trade by next week too. Also,
wow.
So Bulls will be 6th seed. They're gonna make a trade. James Harden will be number 1 MVP ladder. Let me see. Let me make one on the spot. It is bold. He's like 5th right now.
It's gonna be Jokic.
Is he?
Come on.
Is Jokic? You think Jokic with the Nuggets the way
That's
they are?
not bold, but Will, go ahead. Actually,
no, Mohammed, you're still.
Oh, he's done. He's got his.
No, I'm good. I'm good.
He's
all
good.
Right.
Okay.
You're done. You're done.
I'm gonna say Warriors and Bulls.
Something both about the Warriors. Shocking.
Both gonna be 5 seeds next week. Both gonna be 5 seeds next week.
Oh my God, man, just stealing my flow now.
Let me just one up you, Mohammed.
Oh man,
like a separation of like 2 games.
Oh, mine are more bold than Mohammed's now. Tough. Would you look at that? Isn't that a little bit surprising? No.
They could have the same record and be like the 8th seed,
exactly,
or the
right.
2nd.
Exactly. I also want to say bold takes. Bold takes. Here we go. Not exactly my forte. Lord have mercy. Steph Curry number 1 in Finals MVP ratings.
Jesus Christ, this man is.
What else? These are just terrible. Oh man.
Lord they were terrible like your arguments.
Okay, don't go that far. And what else? Anything bold here?
Did you not prepare?
Let me say.
Not prepare.
Let me say. Nets will go on a losing streak. Here we go. Yeah, Nets will go on a losing streak.
Let me guess. Kevin Durant's going to come back and they're going to suddenly start losing, right?
All right, I think that's enough. That's pretty decent.
So weak.
I'm proud of it. I'm very proud of my takes. All right, Will, go ahead.
All right. Well, my takes are going to be better. The Suns are going to be the number 1 team in the league by the end of next week.
Wow.
That's not bold. They're 2nd seed right now.
That's bold, bro. That's the Suns. You see their schedule? Come on.
Yeah, we're just picking and choosing what's bold and what's not bold here.
The Bulls will beat the Nuggets. I think it's Friday.
It's Friday.
And Jamal Murray will have under 15 points.
Wow.
Wizards are going to beat the Nets. Whatever day that is, I forget. And then Lonzo is going to be traded to the Hornets by the end of next week.
Damn.
Lonzo to the Hornets. It's Lonzo to the Bulls, bro.
Dude, Lonzo is going to be traded to the Hornets. LeVar will prove that he can speak anything into existence. Anything.
Lonzo will be traded to the Bulls
for
Otto Porter and a 1st-round pick. Simple.
Wow.
It'll be those exact things. Otto Porter and a 1st-round pick for Lonzo Ball.
I'll let Andre Drummond to the Warriors as well.
This Warriors, that. Crazy.
All right, y'all. Anybody have anything else to say?
No, you ruined my mood with your trash take about Curry. Now my brain hurts.
You got a fat ass headache.
God.
Wow. Disrespectful.
Dude, this is terrible. It's 10:30 at night. I need to go to sleep soon.
All right then. All right then. Appreciate y'all tuning in. Another episode of the Say Less podcast. Check out the social media links below. Check out the stuff in the background right there. Keep us on social media. Keep us with the coverage.
Hit our link trees on our social media.
Link trees.
The link tree.
Appreciate everybody who's coming from every which way. Y'all are loving this podcast. I appreciate y'all. So see y'all next time. Peace.
Yeah,
Neymar Jr. is better than Lionel Messi, by the way. Just want to let everybody know that.
Oh man,
Thank you.
Ronaldo, what the hell?
Every week. Say less. Peace.